that old saying, is the grass really greener on the other side? Well, for millions and millions of people, that's not just some old phrase. It's maybe the biggest, most important question they'll ever face. Do you pack up everything to build a new life somewhere else? Or do you stay put and invest in your roots? That's exactly what we're digging into today. The huge migration dilemma facing so many in 2025.
So just how big of a deal is this? Well, check out this number. The latest World Migration Report says there are 281 million international migrants. Let that sink in for a second. That isn't just a statistic on a page. We're talking 281 million people, each with their own story, their own dreams, and their own massive risks they're taking right now.
All right, so here's how we're gonna break this all down. First up, we'll get into why this is such a huge question right now. Then we're gonna look at the money, the dollars and cents of it all. After that, we'll dive into the big emotional tug of war, opportunity versus that feeling of home. We've even got some real stories from people who've made the choice. And finally, we'll try to figure out, what's the right path?
Okay, let's jump right in. Why now? Why has this decision become such a critical crossroads for so many people, like right at this moment? Well, a big part of it is just the world we're living in, with things like global inflation and job markets changing faster than ever. That pressure to either stay or go, it's never felt more intense. And you can really feel that pressure in certain parts of the world. Take the Arab region, for instance. I mean, this isn't just a hypothetical thought. It's a real daily conversation. Look at these numbers. A mind-blowing 59% of people in Jordan and 53% in Lebanon are seriously thinking about leaving. And the reasons behind it are things we can all understand. They're looking for financial stability, a better future for their families.
So, okay, the motivation is clearly there. It's powerful. But let's get practical for a second. What do the numbers actually look like? It's time to follow the money, to really dig into the financial side of things. Because let's be real, every big dream has a price tag.
And look, one of the biggest, if not the biggest pull factor is simple, income. And the difference can be absolutely shocking. So let's take an engineer as an example. In Canada, they could be making around $80,000 a year. But that same engineer with the exact same skills might only make about $15,000 a year in Egypt. That's not just a small gap, right? That's a life-changing difference that makes you seriously think about packing your bag.
But hold on, it's not that simple. That bigger paycheck, it usually comes with a pretty big catch. And that catch is a much, much higher cost of living. Making a life in a major city like London is a whole different ballgame financially than living in, say, Cairo. All of a sudden, you've got crazy high rent, expensive groceries, and that shiny new salary starts to shrink fast. It makes the whole financial win a lot more complicated than it looks. And here's another huge piece of the financial puzzle. The money doesn't just stay in that new country. A massive part of this story is the money that gets sent back home. We're talking about remittances. In 2022 alone, migrants sent $831 billion back to their home countries. Think about that. That money is a lifeline. It's supporting families, paying for school, and literally reshaping entire economies. It just proves this choice is never, ever just about one person.
But of course, this decision goes so far beyond the bank account. This is where it gets really personal. It strikes right at the heart of who we are, and it pits our professional ambition against the deep emotional ties of just belonging.
So on one side of the scale, you've got pure opportunity. Moving abroad can open doors you didn't even know existed. We're talking about access to world-class universities, getting into cutting-edge fields like tech or medicine, and learning skills for the future, like in the green economy. For a lot of people, this feels like the only path to unlock their true potential.
But then, you look at the other side of that scale, and that's where you find the price you pay. There's this one word in Arabic that just captures this emotional cost perfectly, ghurba. And it's so much more than just being homesick. It's this deep, profound feeling of alienation, of being disconnected from your culture, your community, from your very sense of self. It's like a silent tax on the dream of a new life. And ghurba isn't just some abstract idea. It has a real, measurable impact. A recent study found that a full 40% of Arab migrants in Europe reported experiencing feelings of depression. And a lot of that was tied directly to the sense of alienation and the challenges of fitting into a new culture. This is the hidden mental health cost of migration that we don't always talk about.
And you know, for some people, that cost is just too high to pay. As 50-year-old Khaled says so simply, migration isn't for everyone. I prefer to live near my family. And his words really capture a powerful truth. Sometimes the comfort of being home with your people is worth more than any opportunity you could find abroad.
So let's move beyond the data and the concepts for a minute. Let's hear from the people themselves, individuals who stood at this exact crossroads and saw their choices play out in real life. You see so many different outcomes. For Ahmed, a 28-year-old engineer, the choice clearly paid off. He says, "I migrated to Canada and now earn 4 times my salary in Egypt. Life is better here." Pretty clear cut, right? A total success story. But then you have someone like Mariam, a teacher, and her experience was the complete opposite. She shares, "I tried migrating, but the ghurba was too difficult. I returned home and I'm happy now." It's that powerful, invisible price tag we were just talking about, playing out for real.
And then there's a third way. Take Fatima, an entrepreneur who proves that success doesn't always require leaving. She built her company right at home. Her take? My country gave me the chance. I don't need to emigrate. So there you have it. 3 people, 3 very different answers to the exact same question.
So after weighing the finances, the opportunities, and all these powerful emotions, how does anyone actually decide what to do? How do you find the right path?
Well, the truth is, there is no single right answer here. It all boils down to a fundamental trade-off. On one hand, staying home offers the amazing comfort of family and community, probably with a lower cost of living, but you might face fewer opportunities or some economic instability. On the other hand, migrating can get you a higher income and better opportunities, but it comes at the very real cost of alienation, that ghurba, and a much more expensive life.
In the end, it really all comes down to one question. But it's not, should I go or should I stay? The real question, the one you have to ask yourself, is this: what are you willing to trade for the life you want? Because every single dream has its price, and only you can decide what you're willing to pay.